You think going silent is a sign of strength? Cutting them off, building that wall, and never looking back. You tell yourself it gives you the upper hand, that your absence will be a deafening roar in their life, a punishment that finally makes them understand the pain they caused. You picture them checking their phone, replaying your last conversation, wondering, waiting, hurting, and in that little movie in your head, you feel a flicker of power. But a Stoic master would tell you this isn't strength, it's a cage, a fortress built from fear, not fortitude. It's a reaction, not a resolution. The silence you're using as a weapon is actually a chain, binding your peace of mind to their memory and their potential return. Your quiet isn't peace. It's a constant, low-humming state of war. What if I told you there's a path to inner peace so profound that their actions, their words, and even their silence no longer have the power to destabilize you? A resilience so deep that it doesn't require building walls, but becoming the unshakable foundation your own tranquility is built on. It's not about ignoring them. It's about mastering you. Stay with me to learn the 7 pillars of a truly untouchable mind. This isn't about winning a silent battle. It's about ending the war inside yourself for good. Let's dive in. Number 1. The illusion of power in silence. Have you ever been in the aftermath of a painful interaction, a betrayal, or just a deep misunderstanding, and your first instinct is to withdraw completely? You hit the block button, delete the number, and vow to never speak to that person again. It feels decisive. It feels like taking back control. In a world that felt chaotic and hurtful, your silence becomes the one thing you can command. This act of going silent is one of the most common ways we try to protect ourselves. On the surface, it makes perfect sense. If someone's presence brings you pain, removing them should bring you peace. If their words are fire, silence is the water. We frame it as strength. I'm strong enough to walk away. I'm strong enough to cut them out. They don't deserve my energy. But let's look closer, through a Stoic lens. What's really happening when we retreat into this fortress of silence? More often than not, that silence isn't a calm, empty space. It's a room filled with ghosts. It's loud with unspoken arguments, replayed memories, and the bitter taste of resentment. You might not be talking to them, but you're still in constant conversation with the version of them living in your head. The hard truth is that reactive silence is often weakness disguised as strength. It's like trying to win a fight by holding your breath. For a moment you feel a tense, quiet control, but you're only starving yourself of air. Eventually, you have to exhale, gasping, and the conflict is still waiting for you, unresolved. You haven't won the war, you've simply deserted. You've let their behavior dictate yours, forcing you into a self-imposed exile. The person you've cut off still lives rent-free in your head, and their memory is the warden of your emotional prison. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius knew this well. He understood that the source of our disturbance is never really the other person, but our own reaction to them. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." When we go silent out of hurt, we aren't revoking our estimate, we're cementing it. We're saying, what you did was so powerful that it has permanently changed my behavior and closed off a part of my world. That isn't freedom. It's the opposite of freedom. This path is a brittle and fragile kind of peace. It depends on you maintaining the walls, never accidentally seeing them, and hoping they never try to reach out. It's a peace that can be shattered in an instant. You're pouring your energy into maintaining a grudge. And as the great Stoic Seneca would say, that's a heavy burden to carry. She or he or they didn't expect you to go silent forever. But what they really wouldn't expect is for you to find a state of mind where their actions no longer matter enough to warrant such a drastic, all-consuming response. They wouldn't expect you to find a power that doesn't need silence to be heard. Number 2, the promise of true freedom. So, if blocking and building walls of silence is just a fragile cage, what's the alternative? The answer is a radical shift in focus, a revolution in how we see strength. This is the promise of Stoicism. The Stoic path isn't about becoming an emotionless robot. It's about forging a different kind of strength, an inner strength so deep that it can't be touched by external events. It's about understanding that true power isn't in controlling other people, which is impossible, but in mastering your own responses, which is always possible. Imagine two types of fortresses. The first is built on a remote island. It's safe, but only because it's cut off from everything. The moment ships appear on the horizon, its peace is threatened. This is the fortress of reactive silence. Now imagine a second fortress. This one is built in the heart of a bustling, chaotic city. It stands tall and serene amidst the noise and the crowds. Its foundation is so deep that the chaos outside can't breach its inner sanctum. It doesn't need isolation to be peaceful. This is the Stoic inner citadel. This is the freedom Stoicism offers. Not the freedom of escape, but the freedom of resilience. It's the freedom to live in the world, to engage with people, even difficult people, without giving them the keys to your emotional well-being. It's knowing that someone can insult you, but only you can choose to feel insulted. Someone can betray you, but only you can choose to live in a state of bitterness. This journey isn't easy. It means turning your gaze inward and doing the hard work of fortifying your own mind, rather than the easy, temporary work of building external walls. Today, we're going to lay the foundation for this fortress, pillar by powerful pillar. These aren't just philosophical ideas. They are practical tools, ancient secrets that have helped people find peace and strength for over 2,000 years. Get ready to build your inner citadel. Number 3. The 7 pillars of unshakable peace. All right, let's start the construction. These 7 pillars are the blueprint for your inner fortress. Each one builds on the last, creating a structure of resilience that will change how you interact with the world. Our construction begins with the most important tool a Stoic possesses, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught that some things are within our power while others are not. Think of yourself as the captain of a ship. You control the rudder, the sails, and how you navigate, your choices and judgments, but you don't control the ocean, the weather, or other ships. That's the external world. Going silent out of anger is like screaming at a hurricane to stop. The Stoic captain ignores the storm's roar and focuses on skillfully steering their own vessel through the waves. You can't control that they hurt you, but you can control how you navigate the emotional waters afterward. Now that you've drawn that boundary, it's time to fortify what's inside by constructing your inner citadel. This is your mental fortress that chaos cannot breach. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to retreat here, writing, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful than your own soul." You build this in times of peace, so it's ready for war. Spend minutes each day in quiet reflection. Run mental fire drills by imagining challenges and rehearsing a calm response. When you have a strong inner citadel, the need to go silent forever seems drastic. Why abandon the entire city when you have an impenetrable fortress right in the center? From this fortress, you can master the space between an event and your reaction. For a Stoic, this is the power of the pause. Think of it as an emotional circuit breaker. When a hurtful event causes a power surge of anger, the untrained mind short-circuits, sparking an instant, damaging reaction. The pause is you consciously tripping that breaker. It stops the destructive energy, giving you space to ask, what's the most virtuous way to handle this? This transforms you from a slave to your emotions into the master of your response. Before you go silent forever, just go silent for a minute. This pause allows you to see things with objectivity. It's like the difference between raw security camera footage and a movie. The camera just shows facts. A text was sent at 2 p.m., no reply was received. But our minds are movie directors, adding a dramatic soundtrack and a story. They're ignoring me, I'm not important. The fact is neutral, the pain comes from the story. The Stoic practice is to watch just the raw footage, separating the objective event from the painful fiction you've created. This protects your mind from self-inflicted wounds. Number 4. We're deep in the construction of our inner citadel. If these ideas are resonating with you, if you're feeling a shift in how you view strength, take a moment to support this channel. Hit that like button and consider subscribing. It helps this philosophy reach more people who need it. Now let's get to the final 3 pillars that will complete our fortress. This clarity brings us to courageous connection. This isn't cold detachment. It's caring deeply without clinging desperately. Think of holding sand. Clutch too tightly, it slips away. But hold your hand open and you can appreciate it. This is rooted in simpatia, the belief we are all interconnected. When another car cuts you off, your first instinct is fury. But if you see they're rushing to the hospital, anger melts into empathy. Simpatia helps you see the person who hurt you not as a villain, but as someone driven by their own pain and ignorance, deserving of pity more than hatred. This perspective prepares us for amor fati, Latin for a love of one's fate. This is an active embrace of everything that happens. It's like an oyster creating a pearl. A grain of sand, an irritant, an injustice gets inside. Instead of fighting it, the oyster coats the intruder with layers of resilience, transforming the source of irritation into a thing of value. Amor fati is the art of turning the painful grit of your life into the pearl of wisdom. The betrayal was an opportunity to build your inner citadel. Why resent the very event that forged you into someone stronger? After all this inner work, you must act. This final pillar isn't about retreating into silence. It's about finding the voice of virtue. Instead of being a silent soldier in a cold war, you become a master diplomat. A diplomat doesn't storm out or pound the table. They enter negotiations with a clear objective, using calm, precise language and self-control. They use courage to state their needs and justice to seek a fair outcome. Sometimes this leads to reconciliation. Sometimes a peaceful parting of ways. But it is no longer a reactive, bitter retreat. It is a calm, reasoned choice made from a place of profound inner peace. We started with the seductive idea that going silent is power. We've journeyed through Stoicism to discover a much deeper truth. The path of reactive silence is a prison. Its walls are resentment, its guard is pride, and you are sentenced to be haunted by the person you tried to lock out. The Stoic path offers a fortress. You now have the blueprint, the sacred boundary that defines your power, the inner citadel you build daily, the power of the pause that gives you choice, the objectivity to see reality clearly, the courageous detachment to love without being broken, the wisdom of amor fati to turn pain into fuel, and finally, the voice of virtue to act with strength and dignity. This is the ultimate power reversal. The person who hurt you no longer controls your peace. Their behavior becomes irrelevant to your inner state. You haven't ignored them. You've transcended the need to. You haven't silenced yourself. You've found a voice that is calm, clear, and truly powerful. She didn't expect you to go silent forever. What she truly didn't expect was that you would reach a state of inner tranquility where her actions would be like stones thrown into an ocean, creating a brief ripple, but unable to disturb the vast calm depths beneath. She didn't expect you to become free. The path of the Stoic is a lifelong practice, but it begins with a single step. If you're ready to stop being a prisoner of circumstance and start becoming the master of your mind, make a commitment to yourself right now. Leave a comment below with the words, "I build my inner citadel." It's a declaration to yourself and this community that your journey has begun. And if you want to keep walking this path with us, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more wisdom on living a life of resilience, purpose, and unshakable peace. Thank you for being here. Now go and begin the work. See you in the next video.